Good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night chat. We have an awesome show ready for all of you this evening, an amazing guest. But as always, before we even go into that, we have some few announcements to make and some reminders. Of course, we are so excited that it is Tuesday night. It's day 23 of Winter Kickstart 2026, which is absolutely incredible. Day 23. Hopefully, you're all going, making your way through these the crazy weather that we've been experiencing here, especially in the GTA in the Toronto area. We were hit by an extreme winter storm this weekend on Sunday and Monday. Nick had to drive through it from coming back from the retreat, but we survived. We made it back just in time. We're thank God. Hopefully, everybody else is safe and keeping warm as much as you possibly can. We're really just happy that everyone's okay and trying to be as mindful as possible. Be careful shoveling out there, right? We have to be really careful when we're out there shoveling snow. It's great physical activity, but guess what? It's freezing cold, so don't do it all in once. Take your time to do it. There's no rush, right? Just a reminder, tonight's going to be our last show because we leave on Thursday night for BC. We're off
Not ever.
Not forever.
I saw people's expressions.
Our last show for this week until we come back from BC. We'll be back from BC next Monday, so I believe our next show is next Tuesday night. And then next Thursday, I'll also be in the kitchen. And Nick made an error. Next Thursday is not egg muffin. It's not the egg. I don't even remember my mini egg quiches. That's what I was trying to think. I was like, I couldn't think of the word. Couldn't think of it. I'll be making almond balls instead. They're actual almond balls. So it's a quick little easy snack. The following week is my mini egg quiches. So if you're catching the replay or if you're just catching up on just being back with us on a Tuesday night, don't worry whatsoever. There's always time for you guys to check in. Tonight's just about, our theme fits perfectly with what we're doing tonight, actually. But before we go into that, just a few reminders. First things first. If you hear the word corn or if you see us drink water, that means hydration time. So either one of us. Another thing we want to remember too is track. Make sure that you go online and track. There's 105 Diamond members. So today.
This morning.
105 Diamond members. And I know if a lot of you catch up, so we always know that there's a variation or a fluctuation in numbers.
About 10 people that are only missing one day.
And there's only about 10 people apparently that are just missing one day, but that's easy. I was missing 2 days and I didn't realize it. I thought I had gotten them all, but I caught up. So I'm all caught up in that. Always remember that tracking during your time with us on Tuesdays, Sundays, and Thursdays is a great time because you're already busy doing something. So it's a great time to catch up on those trackers. Another quick reminder, just another great shout out to all the amazing Cakewalker captains that are out there, encouraging us all to keep moving and walking and keep energized. It's so important to do that, no matter how big or how small. Remember, February 8th, I believe that's the Sunday, February 8th, we are having another Zoom walk. So we're all going to be walking in our own respective areas, but joining the Zoom call and just chatting and catching up, and of course nonstop chatting, because that's all we like to do, right? We love to chat. Another thing too is the book club. We are on chapters 5 and 6 of the Let Them theory right now. It's insane. This is the second time. No, 5 and 6. We're the next week now. We went to that with 3 and 4 was last week. I know what I'm talking about. I'm reading the book. You're not. So it is 5 and 6. Yes. It's my second time listening to this book, and I'm telling you what, it's really interesting to catch different things that I might have missed last time. So it's one of these books that you can read over and over again to catch new things. But isn't that with everything in life, right? When you rewatch a movie, don't you rewatch a movie and sometimes go, I don't think I caught that the first time I watched this movie. We do that all the time with RuPaul's Drag Race. Sometimes we're like, they said that? Anyways, I digress. So again, no pressure with this book club.
I'm not talking.
Nick, as you all can see, I was going to go into that, is not talking. He's had a few mouth sores that have been bugging him quite a bit. So I told him to, maybe I'll make sure he's like this every week. I say that with love. But again, as far as the book club goes,
You still
I know you can. As far as the book club goes, it is a self-serve, no pressure book club. So you can catch up. You can read as fast as you want, or you can catch up if you haven't started reading it yet. Just go into the daily task, into the book club sections, just to see where we're at. Please feel free to post your thoughts, your ideas. Even some videos would be great, because you know what? Sometimes hearing someone talk about something makes us think differently than when we actually read it. But now, let's start with tonight, our amazing featured guest that is coming to meet us tonight. So we are honored to have this amazing guest come with us. Her name is Sherry McIntyre, if I'm not mistaken. She's an award-winning cookbook author, a low-carb educator, and she's joining us for this very short educational section, which we're super excited about. Sherry's segment is actually talking about eat bread and lose weight. Honestly, right? Do we all, how many of us, by a raise of hands, have thought, I'll never eat bread again and I'll lose weight, right? Isn't that the myth? If you don't eat bread, you'll lose weight. Well, I'm sure it's just a myth, and Sherry's here to prove that to us this evening. So, again, remember, there's no prep, no equipment needed, nothing. All you need to do is listen, stay curious, and just be open to the new ideas and nourish your mind as well as your soul as we let Sherry take it away.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you having me here. Thank you.
Oh, we love having you here too, Sherry.
Hi, everyone. As you heard, my pseudonym is Sherry Mack, and I spent over 30 years in the food and wine arena, writing cookbooks specializing in the pairing of food with wine. And my books were used as educational tools at George Brown College in Toronto for chefs and sommeliers. And one day I looked in the mirror and I was 70 pounds overweight to prove how much I actually love my work. So it was from that day I decided that I was going to do something about it. So I started first on a keto diet, and it didn't really work for me, a strict keto diet. So I started on a flexible keto, and then that kind of transformed into a keto low carb lifestyle. And I've been able to keep the weight off for over a decade, well over closer to 15 years. And I really eat what I want. I just make sure that I choose the right ingredients. And I love to be able to, I call it keto-wise, regular foods. More recently, starting, I think it was about 2022, in a series over the course of about a year and 4 months, I lost first my father to a heart attack, and then I lost my younger brother to a heart attack, and then I lost my mom to a heart attack. And that all happened in a very, very short period of time. And I was really grief struck. And I was struggling being able to move on, because it was like compounding grief. You barely are getting your head around losing one family member and then another one and then another one. And I've always loved bread, and bread has been in my family. My mother, I'm Métis, my mother's Métis, and when we were young, we would make bannock by the fire, and I used to make them banana breads on the weekends at the cottage. So I've always loved bread, and I decided that I wanted to do something special to honor my family, who have all died of heart disease. It's prominent in our household. Do something that makes a difference, and bread is actually one of the leading causes of obesity in North America. And the average North American actually eats up to 50 pounds of bread per year. And the problem with bread is that, first of all, it's full of preservatives when you buy it in the store. There's a great video on YouTube talking about how you get all these different styles of bread, and they're all the same thing. They're just sort of cut differently. And then on top of that, bread is made from wheat, and wheat breaks down as sugar in the body, and it causes glycemic spikes. So you have enough of those glycemic spikes, and it can cause a lot of metabolic syndrome with the weight gain and the glycemic spikes. And sourdough has been looked at literally for hundreds of years as one of the best types of breads because the fermentation process, it's fermented bread, and the fermentation process helps to break down not only the gluten, but also the starches and the sugars. So sourdough bread is actually lower on the glycemic index than traditional breads, regular breads. But sourdough, even though it's lower on the glycemic index, it's still high in carbs. It still can spike your blood sugar level. Uh, and if you're eating a low carb diet, which is roughly you want to have a non-strict low carb diet, would be having about 100 net grams of carbohydrates per day. A more limited one would be about 50, and then a more limited one to lose the weight to get where you want to get to would be about 20 net carbs per day. So if you look at one sandwich made by sourdough, you're already at 50 net carbs over one sandwich. That's what happens with bread. So it doesn't seem like it. You're having two small pieces of white bread and it tastes great. It doesn't really fill you up. You're going to be hungry at dinner. And meanwhile, you've already taken in two slices of bread that is like half of a, I would say, flexible low carbohydrate diet, and you're still hungry. So I decided I wanted to invent low carb, keto friendly sourdough. And I've done that. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I have a YouTube channel and I also have a website, and I sell here, you can't really see it very well, but I sell keto low carb dehydrated sourdough starters. So you take the starter, you put it into the jar, and when you buy the starter, you get the directions on how to feed the starter to bring it to life. This is one of them here. I don't know if I could bring it close enough so you can see all that fermentation going on in the jar. So you bring the starter to life, and then you can make with the website free with the starter. You just get a plethora of keto low carb sourdough discard recipes. And then once you get your footings under your belt and you want to move on to something that's more complex, I have a membership which is $99. It's a forever price. It's not monthly or yearly. It's just the one price. And you have access to learning how to actually bake 3 different styles of keto low carb sourdough with different fermentation processes. So that's how you can eat bread and lose weight. How you eat bread and lose weight is that you bake low carb sourdough. So it's very low in the glycemic index. A slice of sinless sourdough, depending on whatever bread you make, can range from 2 net carbs rather than 15 to up to 8 net carbs, depending on where you want to go. So even the highest net carb per slice, sinless sourdough, is less than half of what you get with a regular slice of bread. And so today I wanted to show you some of the things that you can do with your sourdough discard. Why do you want to ferment your grains? First of all, when you ferment the grains, you're breaking down so many elements in the actual dough. So tonight, I'm going to show you a bread that I make. It's with flax and seeds. There's no flour. It's literally just seeds and sourdough discard. And I'll show you what I've done. So when I turn around, I do have pants on, just so you know, I have bicycle shorts on. I don't want you to think that I have a naked rear end right here. So I did these in advance to show you. This is 2 ingredients. What do I have here? I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if I have to pull it clearly closer. What this is are 2 ingredient crackers. So it's literally flax and sourdough discard. And you mix up the dough in, and then you just break them, make them as thin as you can, break them, and you've got yourself some crackers with guacamole, tzatziki, whatever kind of dips you have, and all it is flax. So the bread that I'm going to show you tonight is also that as well. So I just wanted to show you, these are wonderful. They're crispy and light, and you could just use them to dip and chomp on them. And the next morning, you're going to thank me. because it's great to make you steady because of the flaxseed. So that's one of the things you can do with the recipe, literally 2 ingredients. So for the crackers, you take 1 cup of your seeds. I've got golden flax. By the way, you never want to buy ground flax because it oxidizes. So you'll notice that the ground flax, if it's already ground and you use it, it will make your baked goods almost like a dark purple, and it looks sort of weird. So you want to grind yourself, and I just use a coffee grinder here, your golden flax seeds. So for the crackers, I just ground a cup of the flax seeds in my coffee grinder, and then I added a quarter of a cup of whole flax seeds, the actual seeds. Then I added a cup of hot water. So you don't want to ever add your sourdough discard with the hot water, because the hot water will kill all of the microbes, the lactobacillus cultures and wild yeasts. And the reason, I'm going to backtrack, the reason why you want to bake with your sourdough discard, it's called discard because with traditional sourdough, to feed your starter, you have to take out a portion, discard it, which can be thrown out, and then you feed it again, and your sourdough starter grows. And then you take some out, you discard it, and then you feed it, and you feed it every day. And by doing that, the army of lactobacillus cultures and wild yeast build up in the jar and make it more and more powerful. When you first start with the starter, you want to feed it every 12 hours for the first couple of batches, and then you'll just notice it's starting to pop out of the jar because it's so, and it doesn't look like regular wheat flour starters because it doesn't have the starches and the sugars. So it'll be thicker and grainier, this one. I have another one here. This one is made for other breads, and this one is vital wheat gluten and oat fiber. So we have a whole series of breads that we make with this one as well. So you just want to stir it. So you've got your ground flax in here. I'm not going to do the crackers for you because I've already showed you those. I'm going to do a bread. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to stir it before we use it. So we're going to add, this is for a bread that is super simple, no flour. We're going to add our cup of golden flax seeds. Whoops, I'm the messiest. Okay, just going to grind that. Okay. Now I'm going to do the rest of it. That was about a half cup. Grind them again. And flax has a wonderful gelatin that holds the bread together. And then we're going to add about, I'm just going to use this, about a quarter cup of the whole seeds. And then I will get a cup of hot water. And we're just going to add the water in there. And where's my spot? Oh, I'll just take this one. So we're going to mix this up. And it looks gooey at this moment. Now, this is the base. So you've got your flax. You could do 2 ingredients for the bread. You could do your flax plus the discard. But for the bread, I want to show you is I'm just going to add a whole bunch of seeds. So I have some sunflower seeds, about 1/3 of a cup. I'm going to use half the 1/3 of a cup of pumpkin. I'd like to keep some of the pumpkin seeds that we could put on the top of the bread. I've got 1/3 of a cup of poppy seeds. And I already did some golden flax here, so I don't have to put those ones back in. We're just going to mix that up. And you can see that the dough is starting to get thicker. So I'll just mix that up. But literally, you can prepare this bread in like 5 minutes. So I'm just going to get another spoon. And I will measure out a half cup. I've got my cup here, but I'll just do a half cup of the starter. Mix that in. Now you see I've only used a half cup. So you want to feed this. You're going to feed it, stir it, and put it back on the counter to ferment. And I don't know if you could see that. We're just going to stir all of this up. Once it's stirred and it's all brought together, you want to use some salt if you like. What I did with these crackers is I just sprinkled everything but the bagel seasoning on them just before. So I sprayed the bottom of the parchment with avocado spray, spread out the dough, put another piece of parchment and rolled it so it's a little bit thinner. Then I sprayed it with some avocado spray again and put my everything but the bagel seasoning on top. And it was about 20 minutes at 350 degrees Celsius. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit for a minute. And by letting it sit, it's going to activate the flax, which will start to pull the ingredients together. You could actually cover this and let it sit out for like 6 hours. And what you'll be doing is you'll actually be fermenting the flax that's ground, and it'll break it down. And by breaking down the flax, you're making it, excuse me, you're making it more bioavailable to the body. That's what fermentation does. So fermented breads, our seedless sourdoughs are lower on the glycemic index. They don't have to contain wheat flour, or they can. They can also contain vital wheat gluten, but grains change once they're fermented. They're not the same as they are when they're raw. And we have a whole bunch of different recipes, from using just seeds to all sorts of different things. Tonight at 10 o'clock, I just posted a keto cottage cheese blueberry bread. And it's made with the sourdough discard as well. And something I'm so excited about, I'm going to show you this. I did these today, and this will be posted in a couple of weeks. I don't know how well you can see them. There. I don't know. There. These are keto, flexible keto, not strict keto, because strict keto is like the net carbs are so low you really aren't having any. But these are flexible. These cookies are only 2.5 net carbs, sugar-free, and they're oatmeal raisin. And they actually are oatmeal and raisin. But how I ketoized it is that for the whole batch, I only used a half a cup of old-fashioned oats, not the quick oats, old-fashioned oats. And then I subsidized the oats with hemp hearts, because hemp hearts have that real chewy character to them. But here's what happens with hemp hearts with me. My body reacts to hemp hearts like I react to beans. So I get very gaseous. So in this oatmeal raisin cookie recipe, I ferment the hemp hearts with the sourdough discard. So it breaks down, the sourdough discard breaks down the phytic acid, and that's what gives you the gas from beans and from hemp hearts, is that phytic acid. So it breaks down and lowers the phytic acid in the hemp hearts, and then you make it with all of the other ingredients. And the key is to do things like using jumbo raisins, because they have twice the flavor of Thompson raisins. So twice the flavor goes further. And in the recipe, you use 2 tablespoons of the jumbo raisins, but you chop them finely. And when you chop them finely, it makes almost a quarter of a cup. So you could stir that through. And because the taste is so powerful, you have less raisins that taste more powerful, stronger flavor. So the cookies have that wonderful raisin taste, with, like, they're sugar-free except for the natural sugar from the 2 tablespoons of raisins in the whole recipe. So once you add the hemp hearts with the sourdough discard, you put those together, and then after about an hour or 2 hours, however long you want to wait, you start adding the other ingredients. And then what I do is I roll the cookie dough into balls about the size of golf balls, and I like to use a cookie cutter. So I put the cookie cutter down, I put the dough ball in the cookie, so I set it down like this, and I put the dough in there, and then I just push it down, and then I take some raisins and walnuts on top, and I push those into the cookie, and then I just kind of push the cookie out, and it's a perfectly round shape, and that's where you get the beautiful round shape of your cookies, just by using the cookie cutter, not to cut them, but just to shape them. Okay, so you'll see as we've been here watching and talking, look at how thick it's getting. It's really getting thick. So I'm going to take this dough on a baking sheet with some parchment. I like to spray the parchment with the avocado spray. And I'm just going to put the dough in there. Wet my hands. You want your hands to be wet, and you're just going to shape it into the shape you want. I like to do it more like a log. And then once you have your bread, you could just take some seeds, some pumpkin seeds, and press them into the dough and do the whole loaf. Put it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit and bake it for 40 to 45 minutes. Let it set, and you'll have yourself a beautiful seed dough that is, oh, it is so good toasted. When I make the seed dough like this, I love to have it in the mornings with some peanut butter. I have it toasted with peanut butter. I just love it. So that's easy peasy sourdough discard recipes. So you can make ones that are a little bit more challenging, or you could do ones that literally take 5 minutes to make with the seeds, 15 minutes in the oven, and you're all set. So I wanted to be able to be available for anybody who wants to ask any questions about the keto diet or low carb or even sourdough, because that's my I call it my hyper focus. I'm ASD level 1, which is Asperger's, and I focus all of my energy on sourdough.
This has been such a cool segment. I love this, Sherry. I've never seen sourdough made other than with flour. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah.
I think it's ingenious that you were able to develop this. And I'm not going to lie, a seed bread to me sounds absolutely amazing. And whoever would have known that using the flax seeds, but grinding it yourself could actually create that
flour.
That flour. Like that's so ingenious. That's so amazing.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And the thing is like you can make pancakes and waffles and bagels and baguettes and fudge and cookies. You could use sourdough discard for all of those things. Here's the other thing that's really interesting about sourdough discard. Not only is it breaking down the nutrients when you ferment the sourdough discard with your other ingredients, it's breaking down the flours or whatever's in the ingredients so that your body utilizes the vitamins and minerals. So you can eat the bread. It's actually good for you to have high fiber, because when you're going on a diet or you're trying to maintain your weight or you want to lose a couple of pounds, things like seed bread that are high in flax keep you feeling fuller for a longer period. And your blood sugar stays level, so you don't have that spike from eating white bread and then falling with a tiredness. And it's also really, really good for your microbiome, because you're feeding your gut with that healthy bacteria.
1,000%.
And the thing, so I sorry, I just am so obsessed with it. But
love it.
So I sell 2 different types of sourdough starters. So I have this one that I got, which I developed. It's I call it a baby because it's brand new. It was scientifically developed with a wider selection of lactobacillus cultures and wild yeast for your microbiome. So it's called Biome Boss. So that's the one. But then I have a global heritage collection of older ancient sourdough cultures. So I took cultures that were original and I reformulated them to be keto low carb, because 10 grams of a regular wheat starter starts at 8 to 12 net carbs. So
Wow.
before you're even baking the bread, you've already got 12 on the go. Then you're feeding it flour every 12 hours. You got a nice jar of this beautiful traditional sourdough starter loaded with it. It's not sugar in the jar, but the second you eat it, your body doesn't know the difference between that or a donut.
Right.
So you're putting all that sugar in your body. So Bio Boss is 0 net carbs. And then you're feeding it with low carb flours.
Right.
And the Global Heritage Collection, my youngest one, is 1849 San Francisco Gold Rush from San Francisco from 1849, that's been reformulated to be keto low carb. And right now, my oldest one is from an Italian monastery in Italy, and it's 1,000 years old.
Wow.
So it's kind of cool, to bake a loaf of Italian baguettes with 1,000-year-old sourdough starter. That's a healthy bread that you take to your friend's house for an Italian dinner instead of a bottle of wine.
Hey.
Tell them the story about the starter. It's just fun.
Right.
I love that. I think that's such a great conversation starter in the when you do go to a friend's house. We do have a question here for you. You said there's a $99 membership, and does that get you the starter, or is that separate?
Yeah. So when you purchase a membership, you get the starter sent to you as part of the membership.
Okay.
To your house, and then you get an email sent to you to tell you how to activate your membership online. And you go in, and there's video training on how to make the 3 different styles of keto low carb. So there's fiber flora, and those are the breads that are heavier in nature, so that you can use those breads to lose weight. Then the second type of bread you can bake is called Lifestyle Lita, and there are a few more carbs, but they use a portion of traditional wheat, just a portion that's fermented. And these particular breads are like real sourdough. People really don't know the difference. And then the third one is the sourdough discard. So you could be part of a community. You get all of the video trainings, and you get a whole bunch of recipes, and most of the recipes have videos on how to bake them.
That's amazing. That's a really good deal for $99, especially if you're someone who likes to make bread and wants to keep bread in your everyday diet in a sense, right? Like if this is something that you feel, you know what, I'm having a hard time getting rid of bread, this could be something that helps you. And that's what we love. We love learning new things, being exposed to new things. And guess what? When somebody else develops it for you, it makes your life so much easier.
It does. And, it's nice to know you can have a sandwich and you're not spiking your blood sugar. It's actually good for you. You don't have to feel guilty about it,
Love that. And we are all about guilt-free eating. And it's funny that you said a few things you said resonated with me, because when we were in the kitchen last Thursday, I don't know if it was last Thursday or even on Sunday, I can't remember, when we talked about replacing certain things, like, how we say, if you're going to have potatoes or rice, use half cauliflower, half rice. So you're getting, you're tricking your brain into thinking that you're eating all this rice, but really half of it's cauliflower.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because I have something to share with you guys that has nothing to do with sourdough, but it's show and tell. So my husband and I eat a lot of this, and I brought them here, these 3 boxes. So speaking of rice, so this is made from the konjac root, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of miracle noodles, but when you buy miracle noodles, they're in this like slimy water, and then you rinse them, and it tastes like a bad cold, And
Yeah.
I could never get my mind around them. I tried. I was like, I do not like these noodles. I like the 0 carbs and the 1 gram and all that, but you got to be able to eat it. So
Right.
this brand called Leviva, you get at Loblaw Superstore. A box is less than $5, and this one is the rice. So you boil it until you, just like regular pasta, where you see it kind of swell, and then you can rinse it. Oh my goodness. This is the spaghetti. I eat a box of it. My husband eats a box of it, and we make spaghetti like this incredible beef sauce, like a bolognese with tons of garlic and a big bowl. This is so low, like so the entire box is 24 net carbs.
Wow.
So if you ate half compared to a bowl of regular pasta, which is like 60 net carbs, your blood sugar is just woo.
And that's 60 net carbs, and that's not the box. That's just a bowl of pasta. This is the entire, right?
I know.
That makes
Yeah,
a huge difference when you take that in consideration.
Well, I'm going to experiment, and maybe if you want me to come back and do something with these, just it's not sourdough, but I want to try. The rice is sticky, so I want to try to make sushi with it.
Ooh, love that idea.
Right? And then there's this one. My husband likes these. This is for Asian dishes, and they have the glass noodles.
We love glass noodles.
Spaghetti, glass noodles, and I'm not a sponsor for these. I'm not getting paid to show you this. I just really wanted to share it because I'm so crazy about these products.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check those out at the grocery store. You guys know us, we have a segment, just so you know, called "Do We Like the Way It Tastes?" And that looks like a great product to try on "Do We Like the Way It Tastes?" Because we were the same thing with the konjac noodles. We tried it, we thought we could do it, and we were at, no, we can't.
No.
We tried it. And we were,
the key here is you have to let them stay in the water, until that you see them swell.
voila.
But they taste kind of like 2 al dente for a really long time, and then all of a sudden they're ready.
Gotcha.
Here's the other thing. So they'll stick together and they don't get mushy. So the next day, let's say you don't eat them all and you want to have them the next day, you just take the noodles, run them under hot water, and it's like you just made them.
So it's almost like rehydrating them. Oh,
yeah, great.
Thank you so much, Sherry. You were a plethora of knowledge. You were adorable. You're so cute. We love your energy. We really, really thank you for opening our eyes up to being able to have bread and not feel guilty about it. Yeah. And thinking of sourdough in a whole new way, which whoever would have thought, low carb sourdough. So thanks again for being here. We will definitely be sure to reach out and have you back again.
Okay.
Yes, and make sure you post on Facebook so that people can follow you and find out where to find all that info.
Okay, it's just sinlesssourdough.com.
Nick is going to put that in the chat for everybody.
Okay, and by the way, so the email is sinlesssourdough@gmail.com. So if you have any questions at all, just let me know. So
sinlesssourdough.com and then sinlesssourdough@gmail.com is the email address.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks again. Enjoy your crackers.
Thank you.
What an amazing segment. I really love that. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you, Linda, for introducing us to Sherry. What a lovely, lovely lady. Love the energy, love the vibes. You know us, anybody who's smiling, loving their life, and you can see that's coming from her with how she's so passionate about her lifestyle. And that's what we love about this Kickstart program, is that there's no right or wrong. What she's been doing and has been successful for the last 10 to 15 years is absolutely incredible. And you can find your own success too by just sticking to something and making yourself feel good about it. So we're going to talk a little bit about tonight's main topic again, which is building strength from inside, right? But before we go any further, let's go with our vibe check. Let's go ahead in the chat, give us a number from 1 to 10 and a word with how you're feeling. Nick is a 5 and he feels like things suck right now.
I can talk. It just
hurts. It hurts. I get it. I
have one there, one in the back of my throat here, one down here. So I have a bunch.
And I can completely relate because I had the same issue a couple of weeks ago where my tongue was bothering me and I had a few canker sores. We're prone to get them. We get them. Mine are usually caused because I bite my cheeks or I bite my tongue or I bite my lip and I'm like, "Urgh." Yeah. They're not catchy, just so everyone knows. We've been doing research. It's not like you can catch a canker sore. It's not like a cold sore. It's very, very different. So just knowing that they do happen if you've been eating overly acidic foods like grapes or raisins. Canker sores do come out in stress as well. So I'm loving the numbers that I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of
I'm not
more
stressed.
8s or 9s, a lot of 8s and 9s, some 7s, and that's okay. I think what happens is I think it's important for us to feel every single, to feel everything, to feel every way. I've had the last couple of days have been interesting just because of work and very stressful. But you know what? I'm currently myself probably around a 7. I will say this, Sherry brought me up probably at a 7.5 because her smile was really infectious and she made me laugh a little bit, which was great. And I think sometimes when we are in these modes of stress or in these modes of downness, finding those moments to find something funny or something that makes us happy is so important. So all of you out there who are maybe feeling down, or go find something that makes you laugh. Either your favorite TV show, your favorite episode. Don't go watch the entire show, but find that one episode. Maybe it's an episode of Friends. Maybe it's an episode of The Three Stooges. But find that one thing that'll make you laugh. Maybe it's calling that friend.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, who knows? I was given a little bit of everything. Maybe it's calling a friend and just saying, "Hey, I just need to laugh. I don't want to talk about anything serious. Do you have a joke for me? Do you have a joke for me?" I think it's really important to do that, but always know that you're here right now and you showed up for yourself. So that really shows that you're grounded, even when you are at somewhat of a low, right? So know that here, the community is here to support you, help you, and make you feel hopefully better if you reach out for that help, right? Or you reach out to someone to talk to. So can you believe we're in week 4? It's been 4 weeks of Kickstart. And I'm telling you, all of you, I'm going to tell you, I have, even though there are certain commitments that I haven't been able to meet, I'm still tracking. This is the longest I think I've gone in every season. 4 weeks nonstop. And even when this past weekend where I wasn't tracking because we were at a retreat, in the back of my mind was, okay, I need to get back to tracking as soon as I get home on Monday, or as soon as I get home. And I'm loving that it's in the forefront of my mind, because right now, what we're going through is we're recognizing our strengths, and our strengths that aren't just physical strengths. Okay, we are currently going through these building of a mindset. We're building a mindset right now. We haven't built it consistently yet, but there is some consistency coming through that. And how are we doing that? By our small daily choices. And technically, when you think about it, a commitment is almost a choice, but we're challenging you to not make it a choice, but make it something you do as often as possible. You're also building that positive self-talk. Have you noticed? I'm hoping some of you have noticed that you're talking to yourself in a different way. Maybe not every day. Maybe not today if you're at a 5. Maybe today you were on that day of a little bit more critical on yourself. But if you're noticing that you're talking to yourself in a more positive way regularly, there's that consistent change. Always remember that strength doesn't mean or doesn't always look like you're pushing harder. Strength doesn't always mean like you're nonstop all the time. Strength also means I'm allowed to take a pause. Like look at today, the last couple of days with Nick not feeling good as far as that, we were like, you know what? And I'm like, I don't think I'm ready to teach an entire step class solo yet. And then I'm having my own little issues. Heat rashes suck. I'm just going to say that out loud.
We're both
in a little pain, but in different areas. But, it happens. Life happens. But guess what? You still have to go on. And a lot of our strength that we don't realize, this strength that we have within ourselves, is always built quietly. Did you ever notice that? That the most time that strength that you have within, it's not like you have to go push a truck to show how powerful you are. It's those little things that you do on a regular basis that keep you strong, and it keeps you moving forward. And when you're always moving in a low vibe, you're always moving. And that low vibe eventually starts picking up. and you start realizing you're doing a little bit more, right? Right now, maybe you're eating in a way that's supporting your body that you haven't been doing previously. You're getting rest instead of forcing yourself to be productive, right? Again, you're speaking to yourself with kindness and positivity. And it's okay if I'm off today. It's okay if I don't do this today. There's nothing wrong with that. But making sure you're telling yourself that as well, right? Just not doing it, but actually saying, guess what? I'm okay with not doing that today. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it because I come first. Yes, that priority is something I want, but today is just not going to happen. Exactly. Progress doesn't always look loud or dramatic. Progress is sometimes the quietest thing out there. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do for yourself is just showing up.
Which is what you guys are doing tonight.
And you guys have been doing this consistently on and on and on. It's just showing up.
There's 105 Diamond members as of this morning, so that means 105 of you are still continuing.
You're still showing up for yourself.
Still showing up for yourself, and you're still doing the best you can. That's what we're doing as well. Like, even with everything that's going on with my mouth, I'm not overeating like crazy.
No.
I'm not throwing in a towel.
Nope.
I'm just being mindful that right now I'm in pain, so it's hard for me to sleep, and it's making me hard. It's making my days a little harder, so I'm not getting as much rest. But I'm still not eating anything that's in the fridge. I'm not ordering. We still have bags of chips that haven't been opened yet.
Nope, there's still 3 bags of chips in the drawer.
They're still
Haven't
there.
touched them.
Haven't touched them.
Actually, it was really funny because the other night when we got home on Sunday from the RMR retreat, we managed to get home before the big storm hit, and Nick went straight to sleep. He was already, and honestly, I would also feel down. You know, when you're not feeling good and your mouth is in pain and you're just your mind wanders when you're sick. Yeah. So what ends up happening is he went to bed and he woke up, and as he was waking up, I was already in the process of cooking dinner. And he looked at me and he's like, "Oh, I swear I thought you were going to order." And I was like, wasn't even a thought of mine.
I prefer what he
It was not even a thought of mine. I did not even think about ordering food because guess what? My piece of paper said it was a freezer night and I had to make something from the freezer. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? A couple weeks ago, that would not have been the case. A couple weeks ago, I would have been ordering
I got on
pizza.
Shape on Monday.
Yeah.
Without working out.
Yes.
I haven't done it yet today.
I've been on Shape every single day except for when we went away because we didn't bring it with us, and I'm still green. I'm still green on Shape. So look at what we're doing right now. We're in we're building our strength by recognizing what we've actually been doing, even though we haven't been doing everything. We're building strength. So think of that next time you look at your list of commitments and maybe you've only been able to achieve 2 or 3 of them, or maybe just the one, which is just going to the website. That's strength building. You're being honest with yourself and you're really allowing yourself to just be in the moment and be who you are at that specific moment. Because yes, we get to the point where we're like cheerleaders nonstop, but we also have our bad days. We do. We have them.
Sunday.
Yeah. We have our bad days, and that's okay. So let's try to make this. I'd love to talk to you guys a little bit in the chat. Where do you guys feel like you're building your strength right now? Is it maybe in something regarding movement, something that you've been doing and you're seeing, hey, wow, I'm getting strong because of this? Is it your food choices, mindset?
Are you creating boundaries?
Setting some boundaries with either yourself or with other people, because sometimes you need to set those. Are you getting enough rest? And there's no wrong answer. Like, we're never going to tell you whatever you're doing is wrong, because it's not.
It could just be you're here tonight.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here. We could have easily canceled tonight.
Yeah, we canceled Step because we were smart about that. But we're like,
I knew that no matter what, he'd be talking 90% of the time tonight because it just hurts to talk. So I was like, maybe we should cancel. But I'm like, no, because we're gone for the next few days.
Yeah.
So we need to at least come up, catch up people, let people know how we're doing, and then we'll head off to BC. I'm hoping these will cure by the next few
Thursday?
days. And then hopefully I'll be fine by the end of the week. But we're still here. Back in the day, we would have canceled our Tuesday chat. We would have just said, screw it. We're not feeling well. We're just going to cancel. But we still showed up tonight, even though we're both not feeling well right now.
And so we really want you guys to just think about all the things that you've just said in chat and look at what other people have said. And strength can show up in your life in many ways and in many different forms. It's up to you to identify that strength. It's up to you to say, wow, look at that. Look at how strong I am. And again, because we often associate the word strength with muscle and power. But a lot of time it's about want.
Persevering.
It's about persevering. It's about building confidence, right? There's strength. Building resilience. That's another form of strength. And building trust within yourself. Trusting yourself to know what you're doing is right for you at that given time. So let's keep showing up for ourselves. Let's keep building this inner strength into week 4 to week 5, week 6, week 7 until the end. And then when we start the next season,
all year,
you don't need to overhaul your life. I'm going to repeat that. There's no need to overhaul your life. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to be present. You just need to show up. You just need to be proud of what you've accomplished and what you are accomplishing. Okay? And we're going to say that again. Strength grows when consistency matters more than intensity. I'm going to repeat that one. Strength grows when consistency matters more than intensity. It's just a given.
keep being consistent.
Just be consistent.
Because consistency eventually will bring you back your strength and your intensity.
Well, I always think of the little train that could, right? I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Keep repeating that because your think will, I can, I can, I can, I can, I am, I'm doing, right?
That's your parrot.
You're funny.
Jean-Luc want a cracker?
So again, we want to thank you guys all for being here on a Tuesday night. We really, really love that you guys are always here with us. You guys make us keep going and knowing that we can keep going as well. Just a few little reminders. We are off as of tonight. Tonight's our last show until next Tuesday. Again, thank you for everything.
It's just us next Tuesday.
It's just us next Tuesday. Sorry, you're stuck with us for just 30 minutes next week or maybe an hour. We'll see. I know it's a terrible thing to do. I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
And it's a very important topic.
Yes.
It's beating the midwinter slump.
Yes, talking about hello, it's winter time, it's cold outside, and I don't want to go outside.
I know right now, most of us who started our New Year's resolutions on January 1st, this is when they start to slip.
Mm-hmm.
This is when motivation starts to leave. This is when things start to push to the side. Those good habits you started, that gym every day is now becoming maybe once every 2 days. And so next session will be about, okay, now that we've reached that midwinter slump, how can we make ourselves feel that motivation and excitement we felt at the beginning of January, again in February, so that we can keep going for that month and achieve some great things during the month of February together. And again, it's not about being perfect. It's about doing your best every day. And that's what we're going to be concentrating and talking about next session. You'll see it's a very common topic this season about trying not to be perfect, because I think it's a message we're trying to convey to everyone, because we know one of the reasons that people stop tracking in Kickstart is because they're not perfect. They realize, oh, I'm not doing my commitments, and they're like, I might as well just stop tracking because there's no point. But we're here to say that tracking every day is consistent. It's doing something because it's keeping your goals top of mind and what you want to achieve top of mind. I'm done now.
You could have been done 5 minutes ago. I'm just joking. I love you. I know someone asked about drinking water. Stay tuned. I believe your name is Megan. Megan's new. She just joined Kickstart. Already put in commitments, already tracked some. She's been doing amazing. She's doing this all on her own, and she's new to the community. So we'll talk about some water tricks once we go off live. There's two things I do want to remind everybody. We still have the Tupperware party that closes on Friday, this week Friday. So if you're still interested in Tupperware, it's still available. No obligation whatsoever. Don't worry about it. We're just reminding people. There's also a Pampered Chef party that's going on right now. That is closing on February 5th. We have Maureen here with us this evening. There's been a few orders. I ordered my chopper. I made sure it was part of the order. I got my chopper. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I actually bought new cloths too. They had some nice cloths. I was like, I'm gonna get those. Bye. So yeah, I spent a little bit of money. But anyways, that's okay. I hope you all have a great night. We'll see you guys when we come back. Stick around, those of you in Zoom. We'll answer any questions you might have. But keep building your strengths, everybody. Even the quiet strength. That quiet strength is it sneaks up on you, and one day you'll be able to share it loud and proud. Have a great night, everybody. Remember, progress